with Leelah Loves on Exhale Radio, Sounds of Generations. How do you exhale? I'm your host, Leelah Loves, and in today's show, we are going to finish off the topic from last week's conversation, healing, self-discovery, and finding purpose. Okay, and if you missed that show, don't worry. It's okay, y'all. You can check out the rebroadcast on Spotify. And thanks to my videographer, editor, and close friend, Keith Hawkins, you can also check out the video footage on YouTube. Just go to @Leelah Loves, @_Leelah Loves, okay? And get into it, y'all. Be sure to subscribe. Click the bell for notifications of all the new uploads. It will help my channels grow, and I would really appreciate it. So, thank you so much in advance, okay? But y'all listen, I'm gonna just do a quick recap from last week. We learned the importance of silencing the noise, of stop overthinking. So you have to do this first in order to go on this healing, self-discovery, finding your purpose journey. That was I'm gonna just say that's what it took for me, right? Because you can't focus with a bunch of noise going on. So just remember, it doesn't happen overnight, so don't beat yourself up. You're gonna have to practice it. Just make it a thing that you do. When you find yourself overthinking, acknowledge it and stop. Over and over and over. And over and over and over. Until that noise gets very low. And then eventually you won't even hear it as much. Okay? But if you guys do not mind, what would just really make me so happy, Leelah would love if you would just share that experience with me, okay? Like, at the moment that you see, like, this is really working. Like, oh my God, I am so powerful. Can you please just reach out on any of the platforms, y'all? Just go in the comments and just let me know, okay? Because I want to celebrate this with you. I want to celebrate because it is a huge accomplishment and it's going to do so much good in your life. I promise you. I want to know how you felt with the moment you realized it. Like, I know for me, right, I'll never forget. It was so profound, y'all. I was in my bathroom, playing in my hair like I like to do. And all of a sudden, like, it felt like my nostrils, you know, like if you have an allergic reaction and your nostrils get real big, that's how it felt. It felt like my breath was so full. Like I was able to breathe, y'all. I was breathing deep, okay? And I know that probably sounds crazy, but that's the best way I could describe it, right? Like, it was very refreshing. I feel like, you know, like if you were to put rubbing alcohol on your skin and then the wind blow, that coolness, baby, I'm not even playing, y'all. I know this might sound a little crazy, but it's okay. It was my experience, okay? So with enough practice, your brain is gonna be conditioned to know which thoughts are welcomed and which ones are not, okay? Because the more you say, oh, I'm overthinking, and then stop, your brain is right there with you, right? Like, that's a part of what that process looks like. So just do it and then let me know, okay? Also, we learned some ways to start the self-discovery process, right? Some good questions to ask yourself to kind of start thinking about who you really are, you know, as opposed to who you think you should be or who other people want you to be, right? So some of those questions were, you know, a big one is, who were you as a child, right? Right around 6, 7, 8. Who were you as a child, right? What did you love? What excited you? What, I know 6 and 7, you probably didn't have core values yet, but that's the thing to think about. What are your core values, right? Because again, core values are linked to your purpose. And then lastly, we discussed the concept of awareness. That right there is basically talked about in all of the books that we're gonna cover. Awareness, y'all, is so crucial. You have to be aware, right? First of all, just be aware. Like if you're in a dark, down, depressive state, just be aware that you are still alive, right? Like for me, that told me I'm alive for a reason. Like I am here for a reason. I have a purpose. I just don't know what it is yet. But the fact that the Lord blessed me to wake up means that I'm supposed to be here. Means that I'm important, right? Regardless of how you feel in the inside. Just know that and say it, right? You are important. Every time you wake up, you're here for a reason, okay? And that it's gonna help you get closer to finding your purpose. When you are aware and you're saying, I wanna know what my purpose is, it's gonna click, it's like movement in the universe. So the universe is gonna move with you and it's gonna help you, right? So also too, you gotta be aware of your triggers in this process, because if you think about it, right, you've been doing things a certain way for so long. Some actions are kind of it's like autopilot, right? Whether they're good or bad, you just do it because that's something that you're used to doing. So be aware of your triggers, and we're gonna get into that a little bit more later on in the show. But just wanted you to have a quick little recap of what we talked about last week, and then so I want to get y'all going with a little bit of musical inspiration. I got some good. Y'all get into these songs, and we'll be right back.
That good?
That was good?
Yeah, that's cool.
Thank you. I felt a little more comfortable.
You did? Okay, good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good. I like how you're looking at the camera too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Yeah.
Because I noticed that too when I was looking at
Right.
YouTube.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. I mean, I would look up periodically.
Yeah, but I don't think you looked at the camera. You looked up, but I don't think you just looked at the camera. So
a couple times.
It did? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll get some good for the thumbnail too.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes, welcome back to the show. If you're just joining us, welcome. Did y'all hear that song? Okay. Because what I've been doing, I've been working on me. Okay. You're listening to The Real Spill with Leelah Loves on Exhale Radio, Sounds of Generations. How do you exhale? All right, y'all. So listen, let's get back into this journey, right? So we already did the recap. I found myself. So now I was like, okay, girl, what you about to do with yourself? Right? So just like that song said, I'm about to love me more than I have ever loved me. Right? And that's what I want you guys to get, right? Like, love yourself more than anyone can. No one can match the love that you have for yourself. And if y'all recall from last week, I was talking about, me being in these relationships, trying to, fill up voids that I have through other people. But really, I'm really enough. I can love me enough to fill me up, right? Everything else is just icing on the cake. But baby, I am the cake, okay? Chocolate, period. All right, so that's what it's about. But before we can really love ourselves, guess what we gotta do, y'all? We gotta forgive ourselves, okay? We gotta forgive ourselves for all of the things that we shoulda did, coulda did, woulda did, all the shoulda, woulda, couldas, okay? Forgive yourself. Because, like in my story, right? All of the things that I shoulda did, coulda did, woulda did, it brought me to me though, right? So sometimes we just gotta go through some stuff in order to get to where we need to be, okay? So, love yourself. But guess what else, y'all? Oh my God. You gotta forgive yourself. That's what I meant to say. Love yourself, but in order to do that, you have to forgive yourself. But, y'all, we also gotta forgive others. We also have to forgive others. And I know that is hard because it was hard for me. Right? That's like a hard concept, especially if people did you wrong, or you had all these expectations that they didn't meet up to and all of that. But holding on to all those negative thoughts, that's what's feeding your overthinking, right? That's what you're ruminating over. So we gotta start forgiving. And I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard depending on the level of disrespect, okay? The level of hurt that you went through, that you are gonna need to then kind of go back and revisit that pain. You're gonna have to revisit that trauma, right? So please, 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 I cannot stress this enough, y'all. And I mean this shit, right? This might be the hardest part of the journey because it was hard for me. I'm telling you. But the good thing is, once you've done it, once you are able to forgive, that's the last step in the healing process. So you can literally be like, oh, it was hard, y'all, oh my God, but you did it. And now you can really say that you have healed, but you have to forgive, right? So, yeah, go at your own pace. Do not try to rush forgiving some stuff that was very hurtful or painful. And you'll know when it gets too heavy, right? Just take some breaths, pause, and go at a nice, easy pace. Because y'all. And also too, make sure you got a good support system. Like people that you trust, people that you can kind of call on and talk to when it gets really heavy. Because I'm telling you, for me, it got super, super, super heavy, y'all. And if it gets too heavy, go see a psychiatrist. Ain't nothing wrong with a damn psychiatrist. And I'm saying a psychiatrist instead of a therapist because that psychiatrist is gonna help when you pull that Band-Aid off from this old festering wound that got pus and bruises that you done had covered all these years. They had no air, ain't no ointment on it, none of that. He's gonna help, he or she, the psychiatrist, the doctor is going to help start that healing process for you, right? It's gonna give you that extra neosporin for your soul, okay? And then you can go to a therapist later. The therapist is kind of like maintenance. And I'm saying it because, yes, Leelah Loves has been to a therapist and a psychiatrist. All of the things, which is why I'm telling you that is, you know, don't feel ashamed. Don't feel like you crazy, because guess what, baby? Damn near everybody on this earth is crazy. Everybody is touched by something, okay? And if they tell you they not, they lying. They the biggest ones, okay? So run away, okay? So again, make sure you got a good support system, because it's gonna get tough. It's gonna be tough, y'all. And you'll know when you're really ready to forgive, right? Like for me, remember last week I told y'all I had that voodoo experience, right? I'm just gonna call it a voodoo experience. That's not really what it's called, but that's just what I'm calling it. And towards the end of it, y'all, I knew right then and there. I was like, I forgive my dad. Like all of that hurt and all of that I was feeling towards him, I could not wait to call him. He was the first person I called, because I could feel it in my soul. Like, you'll know when you're ready to forgive, right? But and because you want it to be genuine. If it's not genuine, it's gonna come back up later. It's definitely gonna come back up later. So I know that's a hard concept, y'all, and trust me, when I tell y'all some of the things I've been through, some people should be in prison in real life. But I forgave that shit. Because why? Because I needed to do it for me. If forgiveness is the final step for healing, I wanted to be healed. I was done with that other life. I said, no. Who about to be forgiven is me. So, let me read something to you guys. Now, this is still in last week's book, but it talks about forgiveness, right? In the overthinking abyss. What it says is, if we only had the power to look inside the hearts of people who have done things to us and understand their point of view, we may get relief from our emotional pain and start the journey towards healing. Okay? It also says if we want to heal, we must learn to forgive and let go of things people did. The only problem is that forgiveness has no place in modern society, where everyone feels entitled to how they feel. Understand that forgiving others does not mean that you have accepted or that you tolerate their behavior. Forgiving others does not mean their actions are acceptable. But genuine forgiveness does not desire revenge. Remember I said them people that did some shit that was fucked up, that should be in prison? I had no desire to like, oh, well, I'm about to go and get me an attorney. Because guess what? I'm keeping myself in that state. I'm keeping myself in that hurt. Trying to seek revenge or trying. And I'm not saying don't get justice if that's how you feel. Whatever's on your heart. Do what is best for you. But for me, I wanted to move past it. So I forgave. And I was just like, baby, I'm about to... Can't you feel a brand new day over here? And yes. So it says, it means releasing the anger and the desire to avenge yourself. So you pull away from the anger and the hatred completely, right? All right, so we must let go of the shame, the guilt, and the anger, right? Last thing it says, y'all. It says forgiveness facilitates healthy mental and physical well-being. Unforgiveness, can lead to chronic arousal and cardiovascular hyperactivity. Okay, so I know y'all probably heard chronic arousal, because when I first read it, I was like, wait, now what? Because that sounds like you just chronically horny, you just aroused hard. Okay, but that's not what it is, y'all. Chronic arousal refers to a prolonged state of heightened physiological and psychological alertness. Okay, so you basically just on 10 all day long. You just alert and all, right? It says that this state can negatively impact your mental health, and it disrupts your sleep pattern, leading to fatigue and irritability. All right, so we gotta forgive, y'all. We gotta forgive. Now, that's all for that book, okay? In today's book, maybe some of you guys went out and got it already and started reading. It's called The Mastery of Self by Don Miguel Ruiz Jr. Alright. But first of all, did y'all hear the title? The Mastery of Self? Baby. Alright, but what I'm going to do with y'all real quick, I want to, let me read something to you. And then we're going to do a forgiveness ritual. Ooh. Okay. But listen, performing a forgiveness ritual can help you clean out old emotions that are keeping you trapped in the suffering of the past. Did you hear that? It also references the big guy, okay? Jesus. All right? Because Luke 23:34 said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And honestly, that's really, that's deep, right? Because just think about all the things that you might have done to other people because of your own hurt and your own pain and all the things that you've been through. You know that saying, they say, hurt people hurt people. That's what it is, right? So I got an activity for you guys. All right. Go get a piece of paper and a pen, or a pencil, or a Sharpie, whatever you want to write with. And we're gonna. I want us to do this forgiveness ritual. Okay, so I'll give you like, I don't know, 5 seconds. All right, everybody got it? Okay, perfect. So this forgiveness ritual says, on a sheet of paper, make a list of everyone you feel has mistreated you in the past that you have not yet forgiven. Okay? I mean, this could be family, friends, co-workers, just whoever. And if y'all need several pieces of paper, go and get you a notebook. Okay? But write down all of the names of the people. Then review the list of names and think briefly about what the incident was, right? So after you have that, then you're gonna read the following statement out loud, okay? Y'all got the names? Okay, y'all can come back later, but you know, this is the statement. You're gonna say, I, Leelah Loves. Well, don't say Leelah Loves, just say your name. Okay. I, Leelah Loves, am ready to forgive all those who inflicted pain and suffering on me in the past. I choose to forgive them so that their actions of the past can no longer affect my present. My wish is to see them through the eyes of unconditional love. I also forgive myself for anything and everything related to these events. I was doing the best at the time. I was doing my best at the time. I pray that these people and myself can experience only love and peace going forward. Y'all, do y'all know how powerful that is? Like, I'm telling you, you're once you can forgive, y'all, you're gonna feel so light. Almost like a snake when he goes through that molting process, right? You're just gonna shed all that away and you are gonna be renewed. You're gonna be rejuvenated. And this simple ritual is the beginning of replacing resentment with unconditional love. And y'all, that unconditional love thing, that is so... I remember when I first heard that term, I'm like, you can't love nobody unconditionally. Like, I mean, there's certain people that you will love unconditional. Like my mama couldn't do nothing wrong to me, baby. Because, you know, that bond, that love is, right? So certain people, you do give unconditional love to. My son, that's a part of me. So he gets my unconditional love. So in my mind, before, you know, going on this journey, it was certain people that fit that category. But to just be like, yeah, I'm about to love you unconditional, I'm like, that sounds real extra stupid. Okay, not regular stupid, supersized stupid. But it's a thing to it, and that is gonna take, I think I'm gonna touch on it a little bit towards the end, but I feel like that needs its own special segment, right? Because when you understand what unconditional love is, not just your, like how I had that generic version, generic definition. When you understand the difference between unconditional and conditional, then you'll get what I'm saying, right, in this. And the thing is, when you can't give unconditional love, you put conditions on your love, that's basically the parasite. You're like feeding that parasite. Right, because now you're saying, well, you got to do this in order for that. You got to do this in order for that, and then there's those expectations. Then it's like this big stupid cycle that you go on. So, I want y'all to marinate on that for a minute. Go ahead, go through that forgiveness ritual. And I want y'all to just get into these next couple of songs, and then we'll be right back, okay? Because there's no more shoulda, coulda, wouldas, y'all. We doing it. So from here on out, for the rest of the show, any love song, and I wanted y'all to do it with that one, with those two, but any love song, y'all, put you in, it's like you're talking to you, right? So Brian McKnight saying he shoulda, coulda, woulda, he shoulda done the best to love you. That's talking about like me. I shoulda did my best to love me, right? So it's like, remember I was saying no shoulda, coulda, wouldas. That's how you forgive yourself, right? You just acknowledge, dang, I shoulda, but I'm doing it now, right? And like Lettucey, I'll do anything for you. Baby, anything for who? For me, for myself, okay? Y'all, if you're just joining, welcome, 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 welcome. You're listening to The Real Spill with Leelah Loves. And we just finished the forgiveness ritual. And if you missed it, be sure to check out the rebroadcast on Spotify and YouTube, okay? But yeah, y'all, right? Like, next time we do it, I want y'all to really get into the song and just think about yourself. Think about you saying those words to yourself. And I don't know what made me start doing it, but when I first started listening to love songs like that and just really trying to love on me so hard, right, y'all, I would be like, I'd be up dancing, holding myself, giving myself a hug, kissing on my arm, my shoulders, baby, because I'm telling myself that I love me. I love the fuck out of me. Okay? So I want y'all to try it. Try it and just see how you feel. I promise you, you're gonna feel a little something, something. You're going to, trust me. And I guess this is a good place to kind of tell you that when you're going through this process, you're going to be doing things that some people might consider odd. Because who will be slow dancing with themselves or their imaginary man that's going to do anything for me out in the club is me. I will. And if you see me slow dancing with me, y'all, just be like, oh, she must have went through that healing journey, baby, and I did. Okay? So, you know, that's a thing. So I want y'all to try it. You know, your mind, you can tell you remember I was saying how powerful you are? You're so powerful that you can, if you think it, and if you think it enough, then it becomes your reality, right? So me hugging myself and kissing on myself, baby, I'm just loving myself. And guess what? I really do love myself, right? Okay. Anyway, let's get back to work. Now, we're on the road to forgiveness. You guys, we're all in the car, we're buckled up. Some of us have started driving because we're ready. Some of us are still looking for the GPS because we don't know which direction we want to go yet. And like I said, that's fine. Baby step it, y'all. You're going to be so vulnerable during this process, right? So be gentle with yourself. Always encourage yourself. Just continue to, you know, be your own cheerleader, right? Regardless of how small you may think this progress is, give yourself a high five, right? Just be like, oh, you did that, or oh, you know, just continue to encourage yourself. And if you do slip up and do some things that you know are, you know, maybe kind of destructive or kind of like you're backsliding, it's okay. It's literally okay, because the fact that you are able to recognize, right, then that means you're still moving, and the universe is going to continue moving with you. So definitely celebrate all of your accomplishments, all of them. And we're talking about slip-ups, right? So over the weekend, I found myself in a situation that was kind of triggering, right? Old destructive behaviors. And that's why awareness is crucial, y'all. So what happened was I met this girl. She's super cool. And it was like, hey, you want to go hang out? And I'm like, yes, let's go hang out. So, of course, we out. Now we back at a bar. So what you do at the bar? You be drinking. And you be drinking? Okay. So I'm drinking. I'm like, but the whole time I'm there, I'm telling you, I was so aware that, girl, this ain't really what you need to be doing right now. Like, yeah, you having fun, you socializing, but yeah, this ain't the right. So the next day when I woke up, I didn't get drunk, like, you know, I'm throwing up or no stupid stuff like that, but I knew that I had more than I should have had, right? And so at first I was kind of like, dang, why you do that? Why you, don't, you know, kind of being hard on myself. But then I was like, you know what? That just lets me know, one, that environment is triggering. So remember we talked about triggers. It's triggering because that's what I used to do back in the day when I was out, you know, trying to be chose, okay? So now, but it was also insightful, hindsight, because it's like, okay, girl, if you do go out, put yourself on a limit. Only have, maybe just take, hell, $20. And when the $20 is gone, then you're done. You know, don't get drinks from nobody. Just $20, that's your limit, be done. So it gave me an opportunity to know of areas that I still need to work on. Some things that could trigger, you know, bad behaviors, or just kind of just going back into the old me. And the old me, she you know, yeah, she over there. I don't know where she is. I lost her, y'all. But at any rate, so now we're in the book, and I want to read something to you real quick. And this is why awareness is so important, right? Look at what it says. It says, the next time you are in a situation and you begin to feel angry, defensive, guilty, sad, or anything similar arising, the first step is to spot the emotion. Remember when I said I was out, I'm having a good time, but I'm also aware. I'm also like, yeah, this reminds me of that time. So I'm spotting, you know, the emotions that I'm feeling being in the setting. So it says, admit it exists and accept that these feelings are inside of you. Just identifying, admitting, and accepting the feelings often has a calming effect and begins the process of releasing them. And then the next questions that you have to ask yourself is, what is this emotion? What is this emotion here to show me? Right? And it's so crazy because I went through this, and then when I was referencing what I'm going to talk to you guys about, I'm like, dang, I really did this while I was sitting at the bar. What is this emotion trying to show me? Okay, it's showing me that, girl, you are around a lot of alcohol, and that was a problem for you at one point. So yeah, you probably don't want to do that. Okay, the next thing you want to ask is, what fears are the words or actions of another activating inside of you? And then the last one is, what are you trying to control and why? So for me, I was trying to control, you know, like I said, all those being out in the club at night, drinking, meeting people. That's where I met all my husbands. They was all club husbands, okay? And I don't want to meet no other man in no club bar. I don't, right? So it was just, it says, a master of self recognizes that any negative emotions that are arising are really a gift, an opportunity for discovery, and no one else is responsible for your emotions, for your emotional reactions except you, right? So that it was like I went through that for a reason, right? So now I can address that and continue to elevate. So yeah, it happened, but it ain't the end of the world, thank God, right? So it just helps me be better. So now, because I've been doing that for so long, that was a habit that I had. When you're out at the club, you're drinking and you're hanging and you're drinking and you're drinking and you're hanging and you're drinking, okay? But now it's time to undo those bad habits, right? And we're gonna start making better, more productive habits. And, you know, next week, I want us to get into the psychology of habits. And it's so cool, y'all. So be sure to tune in next week, because that conversation is just, it's so, like, all these books that I'm reading. And it's so weird because when I was young, my mom, she was a school teacher. So, of course, we were in school 365 days of the year. Baby, summer, you're not about to just be out. You're going to read a book. She would set the timer on the stove. And I hated it. I literally hated reading books. I only read books because I needed to pass a test in school. Like, to just pick up a book and leisurely read, that was nothing that I ever did until I started this journey, because this is where the information was. And so, and now it's like, oh, I just be in the bookstore like, oh, and what is this? And reading the cover and blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, at any rate, y'all, when I came across this book, right, I was just like, are you kidding me? So you mean to tell me now that I've stopped overthinking as much, right? I have better control over my overthinking. So now I'm about to master myself. This book, I'm about to master myself. Y'all, when I finished reading this book, I literally stood up on my patio and was clapping. And I know my neighbors was like, there she go again, being weird this month. But I was literally just clapping like, yes, it was so good, right? But let me tell you how this book starts out. Let me just read a couple things to y'all real quick, right? Because this one got me so excited. And again, once I know what I'm getting into, y'all, I binge read this book. Okay, so this is like a message from the publisher about the book. So I haven't even really busted open yet. But it says, in the opening chapters, Miguel lays out the groundwork for the book, providing a framework based on his Toltec traditions. And Toltec, guys, is an ancient group of Native Americans. Okay, so that's really what this whole philosophy of the book is about. All the teachings in this book is based off of this. But it says, he explains how the events and actions of your past have shaped your present reality. It says the following chapters are where he really digs in, giving you the tools you need to discover who you are at the deepest level, uncover any self-limiting beliefs you have falsely accepted as facts, and release any attachments you are holding that continuously drag you down. And in the later chapters, it will help you chart a new course to where you really want to go, which for some of you may be a very different place from where you currently are headed. So I was like, yes, because I ain't trying to be in the, baby, where do I make the left turn? This blinker been on for so long, and now I'm ready to make this turn. It also says, this is from the author. It says, a moment of clarity without any action is just a thought that passes in the wind. But a moment of clarity followed by an action is a pivotal moment in our life, right? So it's like, we're learning this stuff, we're getting this knowledge, we're getting the insight. Now all we got to do is just act on it. We just got to put some things in motion. We just got to move, right? So y'all, go get this book, because we're about to master ourselves. Okay? Also too, so the book, it starts out, it kind of gives, it gives like a few definitions. And I want to do that to you guys too. It's an explanation of some of the key terms. I want to do it that way because that's how the book was set up. So I don't want to start talking about different stuff like attachment. I want to define it for you. So just bear with me for a minute. It's a few terms I want to just define for you guys real quick, okay? So we did talk about the ally a little bit. So the ally is the voice of your internal narrator when it inspires you to live, create, and love unconditionally. The ally can also offer constructive self-talk. So that's who I was talking to when I was at the bar. Me and my ally was like, girl, baby, I don't think you want to be here. Okay. So the attachment is The action of taking something that is not a part of you and making it a part of you through an emotional or energetic investment. You can attach to external objects, beliefs, ideas, and even roles you play in the world. Okay? Authentic self. I know people have heard that. I know I've heard that term a lot. Authentic self is the divine inside of you. It's the force that gives life to your mind and your body. It's similar to the concept of the spirit or the soul that is present in many religious traditions, but it's not exactly the same. It says awareness. We talked about that a lot. So awareness is the practice of paying attention in the present moment to what is happening inside your body and your mind, as well as in your immediate surroundings. Okay? Domestication. Y'all, this is really heavy. Listen to this. The domestication is the primary system of control in the dream of the planet. And I'm going to tell you what the dream of the planet is, but rock with me real quick. It says, starting when we are very young, we are presented with either a reward or a punishment for adopting the beliefs and behaviors of what others find acceptable. And when we adopt those beliefs and behaviors as a result of either a reward or a punishment, we can say that we have been domesticated. The dream of the planet is basically the combination of every single being in the world's personal dream. So it's basically everybody in the world got their own personal dream. And then when you add it all together, that's the dream of the planet. Okay? The narrators, we talked about that. That's the ally and the parasite that's in your head. In your head. The voice is in your head. The parasite, the voice of the narrator, when it uses beliefs formed through domestication and attachments to hold power over you by placing conditions on your self-love. You can't even love yourself with this damn parasite, okay? So this negative voice causes sadness, anxiety, and fear. So I got 3 more, y'all. The personal dream, that's your unique reality created by every individual. It's your personal perspective. It is the manifestation of the relationship between your mind and your body. The Toltec people, told you guys earlier, is the Native Americans who came together in South and Central Mexico to study perception. The word Toltec means artist. And then it's the Toltec warrior. And that is one who is committed to using the teachings of the Toltec tradition to win the inner battle against domestication and attachments. And so that's what I want all of us to be, right? We are going to be free. We are going to finally start putting ourselves first. And it may sound selfish to some of y'all, but it's not, y'all. It's time to, put ourselves first. Until I started doing this process, I never put me first. But it felt good to finally do it. So before we get knee deep into the rest of this, y'all, I want to give y'all a little bit more inspiration. I was literally on my patio.
You like that?
Yes. Sure.
So how many pages be in these books?
So that first one, this one was like 136.
So like, how long does it take you to read a book, cover to cover? Yeah.
So this one took me 7 days.
Oh, so you read like every day?
Yeah. Okay. Like I'll take it to work.
Okay, so you're always reading. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But now the one that we're gonna talk about next week, that one is like, it's a big one. Okay. So I've been chunking through that one. Yeah. But so it just kind of depends. But they're cool little easy reads.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's always been my struggle about reading books. And so when audio books came out, I'm like, oh, it's a godsend. Because now I can just listen to it.
See, and that'll put me to sleep.
Really?
You're like my sister. She does the audios.
Yeah,
but if I can't do this,
so that puts me
I'll
to
be
sleep.
loud.
I don't know about you. I get this every
What's up? What's up? We are back. Welcome back to The Real Spill with Leelah Loves on Exhale Radio, Sounds of Generations. How do you exhale? Well, if you are just joining us, welcome. You guys, we are exhaling to removing domestications and attachments. We're exhaling to forgiveness because forgiveness is the last step in the healing journey. Okay? If you guys missed any of the broadcast earlier, be sure to check out the rebroadcast on Spotify and YouTube because we went through some really great activities that can kind of help with forgiving. And also we talked about some of the key terms in the book that we are reviewing today, The Mastery of Self. So one of those terms that we talked about was domestication and attachments. And I want to just really get into domestication, right? Because if y'all remember, it's basically what other people assigned to you. You didn't have no participation in it. You were given this thing, either these ideas, whatever, these viewpoints, all of that. But it's about, as adults, as grown-ups, we should have our own sense of self. We should not still be going off of what other people tell us we should be, right? So I want you all to think about what are some of your domestications. And I'm going to help you out. Your first one, and I think everybody was domesticated, when you were given your name, right? My real name is Leelah, but I go by Leelah now, right? But I was domesticated. My mama said, you're going to be called Leelah. And that's who I was. Or I mean, am. Not was. That's who I am, right? But as adults, you have a choice now. You can make these decisions for yourself, right? And that was just a simple one. Here's another one. I was also domesticated by going to college, right? After high school, I didn't think and consider anything else. Because why? That was the idea in our household. After high school, you go to college. Both my sisters went to college. My mama went to college. So I was naturally going to go to college. I literally did not give any thought past that, right? And so think about that. I allowed myself and what I could have possibly wanted to just, I didn't even consider it. I just knew I had to go to college. That's what it was going to be. So here's something out of the book that can help you notice your domestications, right? So in the book it says, take a moment to look back over your life. What are some ideas that were instilled in you as a child that you later discarded as no longer true for you? These could be ideas about education and careers, money, material possessions, politics, religion, a number of other areas. It says, remember, the point here isn't to judge or become resentful for those who initially domesticated you to those ideas, but rather to see where domestication occurred and how you broke free or can break free, right? So by noticing where you have already spotted and released domestication in your life, you prove to yourself what I've been saying, that you have all the power you need inside of you to break free again and again and again, right? So that's just like this book is, I like it because it doesn't just tell you about things. It kind of gives you activities and it makes you kind of, think about what is being said and how it relates to you. So just, think about that and write down as many things as you can think of, because guess what? This is really your baggage. And that's what we are going to start unpacking. But before we unzip that bag, let's get our boogie on a little bit. Just a little bit. We'll be right back. With Leelah Loves on Exhale Radio. How do you exhale? You guys, I know we've been talking about a lot, and I feel like I just want to know, like, has any of this given you guys like an aha moment? Okay, the lines are open if you want to call in and talk about it. For the number to the station is 980-383-0008. I would love to hear from you and just, let me know if any of this is like, oh wow, okay, yeah, that do make sense, or, just we want to hear from you. All right, well, until that phone rings, let's carry on. All right, so we are talking about domestications. And I just talked about ways that you can identify some of your domestications, right? So listen to this, y'all. When we are domesticated, the mask hides who we are. And we believe that who we are is the mask, right? So think about, I don't know if you guys heard the first show, I was talking about becoming an empty nester and how that was rough for me because my mask was mother. But then now my baby, he done grew up and now he's independent. And what was I gonna do? I can't keep wearing this mother mask. I mean, I am still his mom, right? But not in that capacity. So it says, but when we have let go of our domestication, a mask doesn't hide, nor do we hide who we are. It is just the agreement that our bond has created, and that has shaped the way we see each other. A master of self wears any mask with the full awareness that it's only a mask, a temporary identity to serve a function, and readily discards the mask when it is no longer needed. So think about going to work, right? I know for me, baby, I'm on the elevator headed up to my floor, and I put my mask on, okay? And for them 8 hours, I am doing this work. And on the way down, I take that same mask and I put it in my bag and I get in the car and I head home. So, a master of self, you're able to take it on and off. Think about if you just kept a mask on, right? And you never took it off to come up for air. Do you know how do you know the skin? Y'all remember the Predator? Remember the Predator? When the Predator took that mask off, baby, and what was under it? That's what happens when you are in your domestications, okay? So you gotta learn how to play your role as it's needed and take it off. Okay, at night, make sure you take that mask off, do your facial regimen, maybe put some moisturizer, okay, and get the look. So do that, okay? And also, too, it allows you to interact with others, because guess what? So basically, basically y'all just it's like a masquerade party every day, right? You get to just walk around, everybody wearing masks, right? People that you encounter, they have a mask that they have put on you, right? So when you understand that, then you can interact with them, and because you know that they have this particular mask on you. So you can choose to, play along and be in the party, or you can be like, excuse me for a moment, excuse yourself, and you don't want to wear that mask. So you have that power. And you don't have to get upset or annoyed with anybody. You can respect them by understanding they have this mask for you. And you can also respect yourself by not wearing that mask if it doesn't serve you, right? So it's all about what you want. But here's the thing, y'all. Guess what? When you're aware of this, it allows you to shape shift. Okay? You can shape shift on these hoes, right? So listen. The identity they assign you is based on their own domestications and attachments and agreements. The book says a master of self, as a master of self, you recognize this, and it allows you to respect the projection of others, especially when doing so is helpful. This is what shape shifting is. And your awareness allows you to not believe any one of their projections, because you don't need a mask in order to experience who you are. You choose to see each mask as a mirror that will reflect different aspects of you. A shapeshifter is formless because life is formless. So think about all the people that you encounter every day, right? You can encounter 40 people, 20 people a day. Each one of those people may have a different assignment that they have put on you. So now you got all these masks. And you can, like, happened to me earlier today. And I was so proud, y'all, after it happened, because the old me might have gotten a little bit annoyed, a little bit bothered. But because I am working at being a master of self, I was able to understand what was happening, go through it, and everybody was good, right? I didn't get annoyed. I didn't show that I was annoyed to that other person, and everything just flowed, right? So seeing others through the eyes of unconditional love allows you to make the best decision in the moment as to whether or not to wear a mask or to shapeshift in their perception. And in that moment, when that happened, I was like, let me go ahead and put this mask on and shapeshift a little bit. You hear me? And it was so good, y'all. Like, oh my God. So just know that you have so many powers, y'all. You can change any situation. You don't have to be brought into other people's chaos, other people's domestication of you, unless it serves you. Okay? Me putting on my mask as an analyst going to work, that serves me, because guess what? I get paid to do it, right? Me being a mother to my son, that serves me because that's my son. I love him. So it fills me with joy to be a parent to him, right? So y'all, we're gonna have the power, we're gonna have the control to take our masks on and our masks off, just like the big homie Future say.
That was me with the mirror shade, shifting gears through brighter days. Turbo hard, no stall, no break. Every scar's a road I take. Level up, new round, new start. GPS set for a stronger heart. He could chase, he could fade and smoke. This goes fireproof, she won't choke. Yeah, built like a Hummer, chrome divine. I'm the store now, full throttle line. Boom, watch me climb that hill. Stealing soul, unbreakable will.
Welcome back. songs. I mean, right? Like, music for me is just so powerful. Sometimes I hear these different songs and it's like, wow, you know, that last song, that was, man, right? He went through a lot, but he's turned it into something positive. And that's really my goal with this show, right? I went through a lot, but I feel like that experience and you all being able to see the outcome that you can have if you make that decision to, one, do the work, two, just really do the damn work. That's what it takes, right? So if you're just joining us, welcome. Y'all, we are at the last 10 minutes of this show. Now, if anyone wants to call in, now is the time. Now, 980-383-0008. So what we have talked about today, we talked about the need to forgive. We talked about shape-shifting. We talked about the fact that our own domestications and the domestications and attachments and things that are placed on us keep us from our true authentic self, right? We talked about how we can either choose to be in that state or we can go ahead and choose to move away from that, right? Like we have the power for it. So I know when you are feeling down and feeling low or hopeless, you can't see it. But just listen to my words because I was there. And knowing that it is an out. This is the way out, y'all. This is the way out. It's like some Matrix. Y'all remember the movie Matrix, right? You can either take the blue pill or the red pill, but it's up to you. You literally have a choice. And I forget but I want y'all to pick the right color. Okay. I forget which one was the good one, but maybe pick the right pill, okay? The ability to shape shift is through unconditional love. And I told y'all, this unconditional love thing, baby, it goes so deep. It goes so deep. And you have to have that unconditional love also to forgive, right? You have to, forgive yourself and you have to forgive others. So I'm just going to read something before we break because I know, like I said, it's the last few minutes of the show, but I want to kind of set up next week's show, right? And I know we went through a lot, so I want to give y'all a chance to process all of this information, but let me leave you with something about unconditional love for others. As a master of self, when I look into the eyes of another individual, I see another authentic self, a beautiful expression of the divine. No matter where this person is in the process of awakening, I respect that his or her intent is just as powerful as mine, and doing so is an act of unconditional love. If you see the world through the eyes of conditional love, you are by definition attempting to control others, imposing your will so that they conform to the definition of who and what you think they should be. Right? It says, practicing unconditional love is the art of the master of self. Once you have recognized, released, and forgiven the self-judgments that have arisen from your own domestication, you can then recognize and forgive others when they act from their domestications. Last thing, y'all, creating peace in the dream of the planet. When you find yourself in a disagreement with someone and you feel you're getting upset, you have a decision as to what you do or say next. So before you speak or take another action, ask yourself this question. Is what I am about to say or do coming from a place of conditional love or unconditional love? All right. So, again, if you guys missed any of the activities from earlier, definitely check it out on the rebroadcast on Spotify and YouTube. And if you want to prepare for next week, y'all, the book that we are going to read next week is called, or we're not going to read it, we're going to review it. I've read it, but go ahead and read it if you want. But it's called Atomic Habits by James Clear. Super dope. Now, we're getting all these tools, we're moving, the universe is working with us, and now we want to just solidify this work that we're doing by creating bomb atomic habits. All right. And on that note, I want to thank you all for tuning in. Until then, Leelah loves you, and have a blessed week.
Your stepping stone. Got it. All right, cool. All right, look everyone out there. Good job. It's coming along. It's cool.
Thank you. So do y'all feel like that's some good information?
Yes. I like the structure, how you have it organized. That's what I'm impressed with. You got it really structured, organized. The segments are cool. You can kind of get what you need out of it. Then you get a little music break.
Yeah.
It's segmented well.
Thank you.
It's segmented really well. It's good.
I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
Yeah, you got it segmented really well.
Woo!
Yep.
I had to at least get a scream out. This is Leelah Loves, host of The Real Spiel. Catch me every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. on Exhale Radio, Sounds of Generations. How do you exhale? And if you missed the live show, be sure to check out the rebroadcast on Spotify and Amazon Music.